This Mother's Day, I find myself reflecting on an experience I had many years ago at the home of my college classmate, later business partner, and long-term friend, David Bliss, when he invited me to his home just outside Boston. Dave was one of 7 in that family. And it seemed when I walked through the door that all of them were there, each with at least half a dozen friends. Bedlam, the house of the insane, in my mind, was calm in comparison to what I walked into. You see, I was the only child for 10 years. And then when my sister came along, my mother always insisted that things were calm, well-ordered, and there was no exuberant shouting, at least not for very long. I walked in and Mrs. Bliss turned and she looked at me and said in this wonderful voice, "Welcome, Harry. Please sit. Tell me about yourself." I was a little taken aback. I didn't recall at that time too many adults asking me that question on the one hand and being genuinely interested in whatever I had to say. But I took a deep breath and I sat and began to tell her about myself, sipping the tea that she had prepared almost miraculously amid all of that noise going on. And because of her attention, the way in which she looked at me, I was able to tell more about myself than maybe I was used to in the past, until over on the side, suddenly, there was this horrendous crash, some screams and some carrying on among children of a variety of ages. I jumped. Mrs. Bliss, her cup halfway to her lips, paused, listened, continued to take a sip, put her cup down, and finished her sentence as if nothing had happened. Well, at that point, I had to say, "Excuse me, but you really have to explain what just happened." And in a voice informed by having raised 7 children, she laughed and said, "Oh, you see, either I have to go start the car because we're going to the ER, or I have to go and get the first aid kit that's put up high, or they'll work it out." At that moment, I knew I was in the presence of a goddess. This was beyond anything I had ever experienced. And I saw what mothers carry. My own mother too, but her expression was different. Down through the ages. The ability to know. Sometimes it's an emergency. Other times they will work it out. And now, as a grandfather myself, all these years later, I see my children working it out. And my heart is full for my mother and the other mothers who have touched my life.